Hello, divine souls. So, today uh, I welcome all of you for this some vital information regarding Saturn retrograde, lunar eclipse, and things like that, which is the topic of the moment, right? So, I urge to the viewers of this video that if they haven't yet subscribed the channel, then please do like, share and subscribe the channel so that the content reaches out to the maximum information seekers, and it helps to the larger group of audience, right? So let's start with the Saturn retrograde. So before that, let's understand what Saturn is. So we have the 7 planets in the uh, you know in the Akashic realm. We usually call it as the 9 planets, but Rahu and Ketu is only the catalyst planet and their existence is not seen. So it is only the 7 planets in the Akashic realm. You have 7 days in a week, you have 7 chakras, and that's how things are aligned, right? So Saturn out of the major planets, Saturn is responsible or represented as the god of judgment in the Akashic realm, right? Saturn is the illicit son of sun god, and he has been bestowed with the power where he is responsible for giving justice and fair judgment to people based on their total karma accounts, which might be of this lifetime or past lifetime combined, right? And it is said that Saturn has the access to all your karmas, smallest of the smallest karmas, and based upon your age, right, whatever the karma or the karmic cycle settlement has to happen, it happens, and it happens because under the jurisdiction of Saturn, right? So you see, basically Saturn will not harm the young children because the young children are not capable enough mentally, emotionally and physically as well to bear the pain or the judgment which this planet Saturn might have for them, right? So usually Saturn affects adolescent young age groups but not the children's. Okay, now Saturn has been named as one of the bad planet and among the other planets, right? And Saturn is a planet which provides justice very mercilessly, cruel way, right? Because we as humans, people, might seek for some kind of a mercy, but whoever is at the position of a judge, right, has to give a fair judgment and cannot be swayed on emotions. So Saturn is like that. It provides some of the cruelest, some of the harsh judgment, which on the surface value may seem to be quite brutal, but it has some connection to do with your past life karmas and your accounts of all the good things and the bad things that we have done. So it is also known as the Krur Graha, the merciless one, and Saturn is also a very stern teacher. It is sort of a teacher who believes in more sort of a stick than carrot, right? Lathi maar ke शनि ग्रह सिखाते हैं आपको, और ना ही कि प्यार मोहब्बत से. So Saturn is a very stern teacher, a very strict teacher. It gives some of the big life lessons to you, and usually during the time period of Sade Sati or Adaiya, right? 7.5 years is the time period where Saturn stays in one zodiac sign, and because its movement is very slow, right? If you talk of moon hardly stays for around 2 or 3 days in one zodiac sign, but for the Saturn it's a very slow planet, so it stays, or the influence of a Saturn is very heavy on a particular zodiac sign for 7.5 years now, right? So now we call upon the Saturn retrograde, right? Also please understand that among the 9 planets, if we see, then there are some planets termed as a bad planet, right, or malefic planet. And Saturn, Rahu and Ketu, Saturn being the major planet and Rahu and Ketu being the catalyst planet. Now these 3 planets are a form of a group where Saturn is the leader or the judge, and Rahu and Ketu are sort of lawyers, right? So all these 3 planets are responsible for giving you the hardest pill to swallow in your life, the bitter medicine to taste, right? Because they are designed in such a way by the divine himself. So now we come out to Saturn retrograde. Now retrograde is the phenomena where it is called that the planet is moving backwards and not forward, but in reality none of the planet moves in backward direction, right? All the planet moves in forward direction only, but from the Earth's point of view, when you see during the retrograde, it seems as if the planet is moving in a retrograde position or in back foot, and that's why this moment is called as a retrograde. And also during the retrograde of any planet, if it is a good planet, then it will bestow you with good results, like Jupiter, okay, like Sun. So they will bestow you with good results. But when a malefic planet like Saturn is on a retrograde, for your information I would like to add that Rahu and Ketu are always on a retrograde mode only. Rahu and Ketu never move forward, so they are always on a retrograde. But when a planet like Saturn, right, it's a huge planet, it has a heavy impact on your life, on your thinking pattern, on your emotions, on your level of happiness, everything, right? So when a planet like Saturn is in a close proximity to the Earth and seems to be moving in a backward condition at a certain angle, at a certain degree, then most probably it is 150 to 200 degree, right? So at that condition it is called that the planet has gone retrograde. So this time Saturn is going retrograde since 23rd of May 2021 and will remain retrograde till the next 6 months time, okay, till October 2021. So this is the phenomena which is retrograde called. Now retrograde in itself is not a phenomena where you need to get panicked or you need to get afraid about, because it is a occurring event like many events that occur at the Akashic realm. Retrograde of planets is also very common. Saturn does go retrograde every year for a few months, right? It's not a big deal, but this year specifically, at the junction where the world is facing or going through the huge pandemic sort of a situation with COVID, there is massive carnage happening. People are dying due to COVID. Economy is shut down. Factories are not operating. People are losing their jobs. People are not getting their salaries in time, and there is a lot of crying, loss of lives, a lot of pain in the environment, lot of fears already bestowed in the environment. Then in such a condition, when Saturn is going retrograde, you need to understand, being a very merciless planet and a planet for settling of your karmic accounts and giving some of the cruelest judgment, Saturn retrograde will just add more fuel to the fire. ये सिर्फ आग में घी डालने का काम करेगा. So by now, if you see that because of the lockdown, the cases have settled down or things like that. Now Saturn going retrograde is a very much huge possibility that it will again give an inclining trend to the COVID death, which was already on a declining mode. That means more and more death due to COVID can happen, more and more deaths due to any other reason can happen, and there will be other more effects of the retrograde Saturn, which we'll talk later on this video. Right now, particularly I was talking regarding the COVID point of view, right? So COVID per se, whatever efforts that mankind had done to control COVID will again go in haste or in vain. Again the fear, the tension, everything again will keep swirling around. Okay, now Saturn, if you see, I told early in the introduction part that Saturn is not alone. Saturn is the leader and it has its two hands. One is the Rahu and the other is the Ketu, the catalyst planet. Now, since of lately 2019, when COVID had started, in my earlier video of COVID, I had talked regarding how COVID is a form of Rahu, planet Rahu, and it started in the year 2020, which adds up to 4, and 4 number is again represented by planet Rahu only. So already in the situation where Rahu is already active in a form of a COVID or in a form of a pandemic, right? And Saturn going retrograde, it is sort of like a ball of fire is already lit. A ball of fire is already lit up in the form of Rahu doing all the thing. In sort of even Rahu, whatever was doing in last year, I mean to say that it was also an act of Saturn only. But at that time, the leader was in the back foot, right? Leader was on behind the curtain and only Rahu was doing the work. So you can imagine now in present situation where Rahu has already done so much of damage to people, and now the leader, the main boss of this gang, Rahu, Ketu and Saturn, the main leader, Saturn is himself coming in the front foot during this time period of Saturn retrograde for next 6 months. So now you can imagine the intensity of the problems that can arise in everybody's life, in every situation, in every sort of economic, any sort of a thing. The kind of repercussion of the events that will occur, which will be very painful compared to last year, because last year only Rahu was impacting. Right now Rahu and Saturn both will be impacting you all. So you can imagine how it is when leader is joining the campaign of troubles. Okay, so you see, over and above this Saturn going retrograde, you also have the lunar eclipse also. Okay, you also have the lunar eclipse, which effect will last for around 2 weeks, right? Now this time's lunar eclipse is very special because the lunar eclipse is falling on 26th of the month, which adds up to 8, and again 8 is represented by planet Saturn. Already there is a COVID sort of a tension, plus Saturn is also going retrograde, so the intensity of this lunar eclipse will be very very high, right? And everybody needs to watch out and for any sort of, and be ready, mentally prepared for some sort of a mass destruction and loss of lives. If you have noticed, then last year the cyclone which entered India, called Taukte, right? So Taukte entered, happened on 17th of the month. It was again number 8, and this time the other cyclone is again hitting from the eastern Bay of Bengal, and again the date is 26th. Again 26 adds up to 8, right? So that's how Saturn works. If you see, you Google up all the history, all the massive damage, all the destruction, the calamities, everything has happened in the world. Maximum or majority of the disasters, the earthquakes, any sort of those disasters have happened in the date which adds up to 8, or in the date which adds up to 4. Okay, so that is the kind of effect which planet Saturn holds. Okay, now you see, it's like being a back-to-back club sandwich sort of a situation, where you have COVID, where you have lunar eclipse, where you have Saturn retrograde, that too the lunar eclipse falling on 8. Okay, now moon is represented by water, and on a full moon, the tide coming through Bay of Bengal, I am damn sure, and falling on the number 8, I am damn sure this time the cyclone will cause much more damage and loss of lives, or loss to property or anything, than any other earlier cyclone which had happened in recent past years. So be prepared for that. Okay, I would urge everyone who is listening to this video to please take good care of yourself, stay indoors. Please don't take this period of lunar eclipse and Saturn retrograde lightly. Okay, and please be very much observant of what is happening around you. Now the effect of this lunar eclipse will last for around 14 days. Okay, and there is a double bonanza for you again. On the 14th day, which falls around like 10th of June, you again have a solar eclipse, right? So it's like a back-to-back, again a bang sort of a situation, where one after the other the problems keeps on coming, right? Solar eclipse and lunar eclipse are sort of a time period where you can have heavy emotional turbulence, and there's a lot of negativity spread in the environment, right? So you should not be out watching the moon during the lunar eclipse, and you should not be out watching the sun during the solar eclipse. Okay, so this is how like planet Saturn works, and it's a planet of mass judgment. We people don't understand, or might not be able in a position to comprehend how planet Saturn is working, but that's the way how it operates. Okay, now what will happen during this period, during the Saturn retrograde, is that justice will be served to the people who were stuck waiting for justice to happen since long time. It might be in relationships, it might be in business dealings, it might be traditional form of a justice in court or anywhere, but long awaited justice might be served. Long awaited justice might be served during Saturn going retrograde. Another thing is that karmic relationships will end very devastatingly, because again it's a settlement of karma, And all the karmic relationships where people were stuck, where people were not happy, those relationships will come breaking down. So breakups might happen. Okay. And any sort of a marriage which was again sort of a karmic settlement, those marriages will get over. Any people who were wearing false facade of being a good guys, being the genuine people, being like kind-hearted people, social people, or sort of, their mask will fall off, and people will come to realize the falsehood that they were trying to hide. Right? All the false relationships will get exposed, which were undercover since long time. All the karmic relationships will come to light. People whom you trusted, whom you thought to be your good friends, a friend in need, a friend indeed, will show you no help, and you will come to realize those friends who were not meant to be your friends, but still you considered them as one. All the false corporate governance will get exposed. People will identify and read the loopholes in the government or in the system. Governments might even fall. Some of the very important people in important power positions might have to relinquish their power. They might have to quit from the position. There might be public outrage. There might be civil war kind of a situation. There can be labor unrest kind of a situation, which cannot be undermined either, right? Government might fall, economy or share market might crash down or might get terribly hit. Okay, so these are the effects which Saturn retrograde will bring. Apart from this, if you see with Saturn and this lunar eclipse, your emotions will be at peak. Okay, you'll go through emotional roller coaster rides, especially during the retrograde. If you yourself, even though you are watching this video, does not mean that you are a foolproof person. If you have hurted someone in the past, then be prepared for a strong comeback, strong payback this time. Okay, so that might also happen. Be mindful of your thoughts, as negative thoughts will cross your mind very frequently at this time, or it might have already started crossing your mind by the time you listen this video. Okay, and yes, be prepared to see increased loss of lives around, some massive natural disasters, right? Those sort of situations. Now, those were like basic sort of a Saturn going retrograde. Now, if the twin flames are listening to this audio, which I suppose most of the audience are, then because Saturn retrograde is for providing justice and is for responsible for settlement of long due issues, it is very much evident that most of the karmic relationships will get exposed, will get shut down, and the DMs or the twins who were after the karmic partners or a third party kind of situation, who thought them to be their well-wishers or good friends, will show their true colors, and because of that their relationships will break, and due to this there will be a new beginning in their life, and the long term separation between the twin flames is most likely to come to an end because of this phenomena backed by planet Saturn, right? So that was for you. Now, especially with the lunar eclipse, what lunar eclipse will do is that you might have some sort of sudden gain or a sudden pain. Okay, no pain, no gain. So you'll suddenly face some kind of a gain or some kind of a sudden pain during the lunar eclipse effect, which will last for up to 14 days. All your hidden emotions will come to the surface, no matter how strong you tried yourself to present. You might again go weak on the knees. Your emotion will be beyond your control. You might feel feeling of helplessness, suffocated, dizziness, tired. All the deep pains and wounds will come to the surface. And why does it come to the surface? Because so that you can get it healed. All your secret desires will come outside so that you can face your secret desires, and so that you can free your soul from such desires. Okay. Also, this is a time where you can have some major shifts in your relationship, which I've already told. It might occur in everyone's life, right? Not necessarily with the DMs only. It can occur with anyone's life. So there will be some major shift in the relationship level. Either you can go too close to a person or too far from a relationship. So there will be some major shift. Also, you might get some giant leap or a big breakthrough in your career, in your business, in your relationship, right? If you're waiting for a promotion and you're working hard, might be you can get promoted to the next level. If you're waiting for a job, you are jobless, you might get a new job. If you're waiting for some contract or some business deal since long, then might be you will crack that business deal. Okay, so new opportunities will be provided to the strugglers, because planet Saturn is also known as the god of strugglers. Okay, planet Saturn likes people struggle hard and achieve success, and does not favor the short-term success. So that's a separate deep topic, but we can leave it aside. But mostly people who have genuinely worked hard or struggled hard since a long time might get benefited or might be able to reap the benefits during the Saturn retrograde. Okay, and yes, there might be some sort of a belief system or a pattern which you might have been carrying out since long time, right? So you are suggested to take a change this time. Try a new opportunity and don't just follow the same belief system or the same choices that you used to make in the past during the Saturn retrograde, which the Saturn retrograde is trying to teach you. Okay, so those were the things which this Saturn retrograde and the lunar eclipse combined will bring to you in your life. Of course, the lunar eclipse effect will last for 14 days, but Saturn retrograde will go till for a long time, like for around 6 months, right? So whatever the emotions or the secret things, secret desires, secret emotions coming onto a surface, please don't run away from them. Be bold enough, stay there, face your issues, and try to get it healed through a way of meditation, right? Try to get your issues healed through the way of meditation. Else you can also write it down on a piece of paper and burn it. Okay, there can be many things, but which suits you the best, you can choose those one, right? But the thing is that you need to release all those hidden issues, all those hidden emotions, all those secret desires, all those traumas which were underneath, buried within you, and you are not facing those things since quite a long time. But now is the time you'll have to face it. You can't run away from it, and better you face it, so that once you get healed, you will be able to free your soul from all the heaviness, from all the baggage that it has been carrying since long time, which you don't realize, but your soul realizes all the things that you are not healing. So better heal it this time. Now, what you are not supposed to do during the lunar eclipse. Now, I'll suggest you, please do not open the windows so that the harmful energy which is present in the environment during the lunar eclipse does not enter your house. So please do not open the windows or go outside after sunset, Okay. Although the eclipse will not be visible in India, but you can see the eclipse does not happen country per se. Please don't be foolish enough. Eclipse is happening at the universe level. Eclipse is happening at the Akashic level. Okay, and not for any country specific. So when the eclipse occurs, it is already there in the environment. It is already there in the sky. It is already there in this, where you can't even see, right? And the same energy is spread around the entire earth. So better you don't go outside of your home after the sunset to the maximum possible. Okay, please do not eat any kind of a non-veg food. Please do not consume liquor, and please don't argue with anyone. Please don't fight with anyone. Please don't curse anyone at the moment during the lunar eclipse, right? Please do not go deep into your emotions and start crying. Please don't take any sort of a decision, being on emotional side. People usually take bad decisions only in two cases. One, when the person is very angry, and second, the person is very emotional. These are only the two situations which I presume is the time when people take some of the very terrible decisions in their life. So please control your emotions and do not take any sort of a harsh decision onto yourself, and which you might happen to regret later on. So please use your discernment, please use your conscience during this period. It's going to be very heavy stuff, so please buckle up and get going. Now what you should do. So those were the things what you should not do precisely. Now things what you should do: close all the windows. Okay, take a bath with salt water, ground yourself. Okay, be very polite and humble, drink lots and lots of water as much possible, but primarily and the most, please pray for the moon god, as during the lunar eclipse it is believed that the moon god is going through a lot of a pain. In any way you can take it as a science also. If is a situation where the planet gets hidden due to a shadow of another planet, then it's a moment where its glory, its identity is lost, right? It is hidden due to shadow, and it's a very painful situation for anyone, be it planet or be it even people. So planet moon or the moon god would also be going through a lot of pain. So please watch out and possibly pray during your meditation time for moon god. Pray for the betterment and send some healing energies to moon god also. You can chant the moon mantra, whichever suits you. Om Somaya Nama would be the simple one. Secondly, I would urge you to, after praying for the moon god during the daytime on the 26th, you can visit your nearest Shiva temple. If the Shiva temple is towards the north side of your house, better. So please visit the Shiv temple, and you can offer milk and white sesame seeds to Lord Shiv and pray your gratitude to Lord Shiv and to the moon god, and for the betterment of for the healing of the moon god as well. You can chant Om Namah Shivaya, anytime during the day, during the lunar eclipse. Please let go of any sort of your belief system, all your old wounds, release your pains, your fears, your grief, hatred, whatsoever it's sort of, right? Please do meditate a lot. Please give lot of respect to your mother at this time, especially. Please don't, I have already urged you that please don't curse anyone or get into argument with anyone at the moment, but With your mother also, please watch out. Please don't get into argument or resentment mode at the moment. Okay, during this phase, please do meditate a lot, because the meditation done during solar eclipse and lunar eclipse has a multiplier effect. If you can, then please do meditate. Light a candle. Okay, take a shower or a bath on a salt water. Light a candle, burn some good incense sticks or dhoop, and sit on a meditation as many hours as possible you can do. That is the best thing that you can do. Do not enter the place of worship. Please meditate away from where the place of worship is situated. Okay, during this time you can sit on a chair or on a couch or on the floor over a mat. Okay, if you have a guru mantra, then please do chant your guru mantra also. That would be the another best thing to do during lunar eclipse, right? And if you have the fascination for chakra, then please meditate on your third eye, on your heart chakra, on your solar plexus and your sacral chakra the most during lunar eclipse, right? So I suppose I have passed on with some of the vital information and insights related to Saturn retrograde and lunar eclipse. So may the angels guide you, provide you with the divine protection. Please stay positive with lots of love, peace and light. And please watch out for your emotions. Please balance your emotions. You might be seeing a lot of number 96 also these days, which means you need to balance out your emotions and take control of your emotions. Okay, that is the meaning of emotion. Please balance your feminine and masculine energy within you during this time. And please take care. Please take very good care of yourself and utilize this period of lunar eclipse and Saturn retrograde. Some of the very heavy energy is going to pass through all of us. So please be observant enough and do meditate as much as possible. Okay, this is your friend Vijay signing off for now. Lots of love, peace and light to you. Do take care of yourself and God bless.